Hello everyone and welcome to another Charlotte Hornets video, another Schmeat video. I know it has been a while since I've recorded last, and I know this isn't the most professional setup that I've done, but I still have to set it up. I just came back from Christmas break and I'm back at college, and that was mainly the reason why I haven't been uploading, is that I didn't really watch much basketball at all. I've been mainly, focusing on football. My favorite team, the Packers, a team that I literally grew up on. I mean, I'm a, Charlotte Hornets super fan, but before that, I believe, comes the Packers, and I've been really into football this season, so I've been watching football more than I've been watching basketball. If I'm going to be honest, I have not watched a single Charlotte Hornets game in a month, probably. But I thought I'd, give a little bit of a rundown about how we've been doing, because I need a refresher as well. I have not been in tune with the NBA season because of the developing COVID, the developing Delta, which isn't really talked about anymore, and Omicron, really plaguing most of the NBA. At one point, the Charlotte Hornets were plagued with a big outbreak of LaMelo, Terry Rozier, Jalen McDaniels, but that was almost a month ago, and we've been okay. I know PJ Washington got it about a week ago, and I know a bunch of NBA teams are handing out these 10-day hardship deals. What a hardship is that they don't have enough players to play a game, and rather than forfeiting the game, they sign Lance Stevenson, Isaiah Thomas. I think DeMarcus Cousins is going to be the next 10-day because he just got cut from the Bucks. They sign these players to play for 10 days, and if they do well, they get signed for longer. But teams are doing that so they don't have to forfeit games, and that's what the NBA season has kind of been over the last month or two, and it's not the most enjoyable thing. There's still highlights. There's Kyrie Irving coming back. There's Lance Stevenson dropping 20 in a quarter. So not to say that this season so far has been a bust, but it probably just isn't as enjoyable as a season as we've had in the past, just because of this whole COVID thing. And I'm happy when this COVID bug will be over, because my college just got shut down for 2 weeks. We're virtual for the first 2 weeks of the semester, and you never know if that is going to be longer, because this whole COVID thing is so unpredictable, so polarizing, that it's just interesting. But checking up on the Hornets, because that's what this channel is. That's what this sweatshirt says. The Charlotte Hornets. Got this for Christmas. Shout out to my girlfriend for knowing my true values in life, and that's the Charlotte Hornets. But the Green Bay Packers, first seed in the NFL, and especially the NFC, which we're going to the Super Bowl. But speaking of the Hornets, we are 20-19 average at best. We have been either the best team in the NBA some games, or we've been losing by a lot of points. And I know I said, a couple minutes ago that I've been watching Hornets games, but that doesn't mean that I haven't been keeping track of who's doing good for us and the teams we've been winning and losing to. So if I want to look at the stats real quick, there should be a lot of talk around us having an all-star. Which all-star that is, I am not sure. I think an obvious answer, looking at the fan vote, would be LaMelo Ball. But looking at that fan vote, I just realized how many good guards are in the East. Trae Young, the two Celtics guards. I don't know if Tatum is classified as a guard or a forward, but there's Jaylen Brown, also a guard. And there's, I think Kyrie Irving has a ton of votes, which is crazy. But I think James Harden is classified as a guard. But there's so many good guards in the East that it's hard to justify LaMelo as an all-star, even though the numbers he's putting up, almost 20 a game, 7 rebounds, almost 8 assists, 2 steals a game, half a block, although his turnovers suck. That's pretty good numbers for a second-year guy, and you can make a case for him. But there's also a case, which I should be talking about it more, is Miles Bridges, leading our team in points. I did see him on the vote getters for the first fan vote coming back, which surprised me a little bit that he was up there, and he wasn't at like 10. He was at like 6 or 7, I believe, which is pretty good. I did not expect him to get much of a fan vote, just because we're a small market team. Miles Bridges isn't putting up like 30 a game. He's putting up almost 20, which is still really good, but it's not like 27 a game, which he was averaging for about a month into the season. But we just need one all-star. That's all I'm asking for. Last season, it was Gordon Hayward because the first half of the season up until all-star break, he did not get injured, and that was his main thing. And when he's not injured, he is putting up 17 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. He's putting up an insane stat line for Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward type of player at 31 years old. He's still being very productive. I wish this would tell me what his shooting splits are, because I know he's just crazy efficient. He's crazy at just being that guy you can rely on for a bucket. Speaking of guys you can rely on for a bucket, Terry Rozier, 17.5 points per game. He started out the year really slow. I think he was trying to find his place in the lineup because Miles Bridges was establishing himself this season as a guy who, forewent, is that a word? He foregoed his contract to have a play it out year, and he looks like he's going to get a big bag this offseason. But Terry Rozier trying to establish himself with LaMelo Ball there already, Miles Bridges there already from injury. I think he's doing a great job through this second stretch of the season where he found himself. He's hitting crazy shots. Like I see some highlights, and his step back threes, his threes in the corner falling away into the bench. It's crazy what he can do out there. Speaking of threes, 9 threes last game. I think it was last night. Kelly Oubre is insane, and I think Warriors fans are killing themselves right now because they saw what he did last season with the Warriors. It is not the same. With the Hornets, this guy is insane. And the game I went to earlier this season in person, and nearly every three he took, like even his heat check was so close to going in. It's like he is an insane 3-point shooter that he did not show last season. And he showed a little bit with the Suns. If you guys remember him on the Suns, he was pretty good on the Suns. But what I'm saying is that our team has been decent even with all these good guys stepping up. You don't think Kelly Oubre would average almost 17 a game, yet we are only 20-19 on the season. Obviously, some of that is COVID, but I hate giving out the COVID excuse because every team can have that COVID excuse. I believe, if I can look it up real quick, Eastern Conference standings, a team that can use that COVID excuse probably the fullest is the Bulls, but they're first place still in the East. They like every team can use that excuse. It's all about overcoming, all that, like all your good players out. Like there was a point in the Bulls season earlier this season that they had 10 people out with injury, and the NBA didn't postpone their games. They just said, fuck it, 5 players. Signed 3 players on 10-day hardship deals, and you'll be good. And they're still first place in the East. So I hate giving out that excuse for the Hornets, even though it's true that they had their primary playmaking, scoring out for a given time. But I think every team has had their primary players out for COVID this season, so I don't give that excuse to them. I think we've just been average, which is what our franchise is. We've been below average for parts. I do think we're above average. We are sitting at what place in the East? We are sitting at 8th in the East, which is lower than I thought. The Cavs have been amazing this season. The Heat have really been weird but good this season. Raptors, 18-17. That is a team that I wouldn't think would be ahead of us in the standings. We're 20-19 and they're 18-17. Something doesn't add up, but with COVID, nothing adds up. But we've been average, but I believe we will get an all-star this season. I sure hope either Miles or LaMelo gets it. If Miles gets all-star, I think he's going to get an insane bag this offseason, but also LaMelo to be a second-year player. To be an all-star. He's really taken the Trae Young route. I think Trae Young was an all-star his second season. I don't think he was an all-stars this past season. I think that was a big controversy, but we're going to get an all-star. I really hope. Fingers crossed, and I really hope we can start being above average. I'm going to the game on January 8th, so I'll probably make a video on that because I'll see it in person. I'll watch the whole game, obviously, if I'm there. So that'll be fun. Mason Plumlee is averaging a block a game. I'm just seeing that now. Also, I probably should say this since I already mentioned in this video before. Maybe we signed DeMarcus Cousins as a backup. Kai Jones haven't given him a lot of minutes. Jalen McDaniels has been okay, 7 points per game this season. But Mason Plumlee, I think we all knew before the season that he's a better center than Cody Zeller, but he's not the answer. He's not going to win us games. He's just going to be there. And I think his defense is a lot better, and his rebounding is a lot better. But if we could get a DeMarcus Cousins, especially for cheap, because we need him, and he needs us because he needs a team to play on. And he hasn't been bad this season at all. I don't really understand why the Bucks cut him, especially I think they just signed Langston Galloway for him, which I'll have to look at Boogie's games, because Langston Galloway seems like a defensive type of player that they needed, and I don't know if Boogie's defense was that bad that they had to cut him. But anyways, that's the video. Rambled for about 11 minutes, but I just wanted to, give a quick check-in on the Hornets, and probably a check-in on myself, because I didn't upload for a month and a half, and that, mainly because I was on winter break and I just got back. So maybe I'll upload more, maybe I won't, because I'll be super busy this semester. But that's it. See you guys later.